Carl here from Games, Brains and Headbang Life, gbhblofficial for short. Album review time, checking out something very, very cool from the Juno award-winning powerhouse rock duo Crownlands, which is Cody Bowles, vocals and drums, and Kevin Camus, guitar, bass and keys. They will release their sophomore studio album Fearless on March 31st through Spinefarm Universal Music Canada. Now, oh my goodness, talk about ballsy. They opened their new record with one of the ballsiest moves possible. Crownlands introducing the listeners to Fearless with Starlifter Fearless Part 2, an 18 plus minute opening track that will leave most utterly gobsmacked and feeling quite exhausted. How do you describe the implausible journey that this track takes you on? This review alone could focus on this track, and just this track, and it'd be a lengthy listen. From the moment the opening starry melody and rock hit of energy arrives, it just grows and grows in strength. The sense of grandness growing as it hits a rhythmic tempo and blends gorgeous melody with reasons to move your body. On and on it goes, moving through stages, twisting and turning, and showcasing an eclectic array of tones. Old school rock, modern and vibrant effects, energetic groove throughout, melodic when it needs to be, a little weird, quite literally wonderful, and amazingly always interesting. What a track. If there is a reason to check out this album, it is this opening 18 plus minute track. But take a breath, because that is just the start, and there are plenty more reasons to celebrate as this album goes on. Starting with a straight up rocking body shaker that is Dreamer of the Dawn, and into the 80s headbanging vibes of The Shadow. The simplified direction of both tracks are quite welcome considering what we got with the opener, such a hefty start. Yet that doesn't mean there isn't plenty to sink your teeth into either here. Which also applies to the finger snapping and foot tapping rhythm of Right Way Back, before Crownlands go big again with Context Fearless Part 1. Though not quite as big as the opener, this near 8-minute track is just as elaborate though, and features some of the band's most captivating melodies, but also some of the more experimental ideas. It results in something that is delightfully majestic throughout. Everyone is going to have their personal favourite track, but me, personally, it's all about reflection. Simply because of the cinematic ambience that makes up the first minute of this track. It's really beautiful, incredibly touching, and it leads into a nice slice of rock and roll groove with layers of melody and a banging chorus. You also kind of gotta love Penny too. An instrumental slice of warm sun with a melodious sweetness running through it like a thick vein, before the final pairing of Lady of the Lake and Citadel make sure this is an album to remember. The trembling power rock vibes of the former and the gorgeous anthemic vibes of the latter are incredibly memorable. The word you're looking for, the word I'm looking for to describe this album is stunning. I'll be honest, I didn't really know who Crownlands were before listening to this album. The name rang a bell, but I could be confusing them with other bands. So when I saw it was kind of like a two-piece, saw that they kind of lent towards rock, and then looked at the track listing and saw the 18-minute track, the 8-minute track, and thought, okay, that's unusual. Is it more progressive, more prog rock, that kind of thing? And it is, but it's also not at the same time, not in the traditional sense at all. I ended up mesmerised by this, thoroughly enjoying it, not just because of the opener, because of the longer tracks and so on, but even when he kept it short and kept it simpler. It was energetic, it was fun, it was a throwback, but it also felt extremely modern and fresh. It was constantly interesting. I was never distracted at any stage. By the end I was thinking, goodness, how the hell have I never heard of this band before? So it is one of those super exciting discoveries. Maybe are you like me? Is this your first experience? Or were you there at the start and you're like, ha, yes, this is exactly what people have been saying. This is exactly what I've been saying, and it backs it up because it is an absolute banger. I'm going to be up there as one of the albums of the year talked about when we come to end of year lists. It is Crownland's Fearless, out on March 31st through Spinefarm and Universal Music Canada. What do you reckon? Am I talking crap here? Am I getting overly excited about this? Or do you love it as much as I do? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?